So, hi YouTube. I am Madonna Noor. I'm super nervous. It's my first YouTube video, but I wanted to make a video. About how I moved my family and I to California from Georgia. I got a lot of questions about it, and every time somebody asks me about it, I kind of give them a brief synopsis of how I did it. But for the most part, I have never really went into detail of everything that had to be done because it was a lot. If anyone is thinking about doing that, then this is the video that you need to watch, because I'll answer as many questions that I can in the video, and then if you have any more questions, you can ask me after. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I got notes here. Well, first and foremost, I want to say I always wanted to live in California. I'm originally from up north. I was not born in Georgia, so even though I tried to stay in DC, it just didn't work out, and that's how I ended up in Georgia. But I really never liked Georgia. I made the best of it, of course, and I just always wanted to live somewhere fast-paced and glamorous, and because something that matched how I feel like I was. So that's first and foremost. If you want to live here, I feel like it should be somewhere you want to move, or you can just use this video as a reference if you're trying to make a move to wherever it is that you want to go. It could be Las Vegas, it could be, Florida, or it could be anywhere you want to be. Have some sort of income lined up. You should either have a job out here already, have some sort of steady source of income out here. Also, you need to have money saved up. I'll get into all of everything, and then I'll tell you how much everything costs for me to move my family here, which consists of me, my significant other, my 3 children, and my dog. First, the house we were staying in, we had been there for years, and so we had basically made it a home. And that wasn't our first time moving within the state of Georgia. Of course, like I told you, I've moved plenty before. I'm a military child, so moving really isn't something that is stressful to me, I thought. But I literally have never made this big of a move. So before, when I was moving, it was always because I had to move, or because I wanted to move, but it was always within a certain area, never almost 3,000 miles away, it was never with my children and a dog and everything like that. So boom, let's rock it. Sit down. So boom, okay, rock it, sit. So we basically had been in our house for about 4 or 5 years. So we had made it a home. So we knew that in order to get out of our lease, we had to notify our landlord within 60 days prior to us wanting to renew, because we had renewed our lease so many times before. We also had to have some idea of where we wanted to stay out here and what area we wanted to stay. Now, myself, I always look for areas based off of the school ratings. Then that way I can kind of branch out from there, because if the schools have a decent rating, then it's pretty much, to me, it comes across as child friendly. And that's kind of been my fail safe. I've never went wrong doing that. And it's like, even if you can find some cheaper areas searching that way instead of literally searching for places that have a high walk score or something like that, which your walk score is the places that you can get on foot, because California has a lot of traffic. It is not ideal to want to drive everywhere. It's best to live walking distance to a grocery store, or somewhere like that, because you're just gonna waste a lot of time if you want to drive everywhere. And me, I don't have that amount of time to be wasting doing that type of thing. Once you have the idea of where you want to stay, you can look for what it is that you wanted to look for. Transitioning from Georgia to LA is a very, very big financial jump. We saved up a lot of money to be able to move out here, and it was still very financially straining, but it was something that we knew would be beneficial because we already had jobs lined up. That's very important. Get your credit score over 650. Because if it isn't, you're basically gonna have to have a co-signer. If your credit score is not above 650, you're gonna have to have someone to co-sign for you, and that's not easy to do when minimum, I'll say, for I'm sorry, I keep looking over here. I'm looking at my dog. Sit down. So, okay. You're gonna wanna make sure your credit score is over 650. And if not, more than likely, you're gonna need a co-signer. And that's not something that's easy to come about, trust-wise. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you and whoever you're applying with, or you alone, credit score is over 650. You will also have to be ready to understand that it's basically $1,000 a bedroom for an average, safe space place to live out here. We actually live in the city. So to live in Los Angeles is basically gonna cost you about $3,000 for a 3-bedroom. Anything, duplex, townhouse, apartment, it's gonna cost you $3,000, and that's minimum. If you do find somewhere that is less than that, then you'll be, me per se, I won't speak negatively on anywhere, but I look for places that have a crime index rate of either 30% or lower. And that's just flat out, because anything to me over 30% of a crime index means that you might have to deal with gunshots, you might have to deal with people breaking into your car, things like that. So that's another. And Zillow has all of these features. Zillow will let you know the walk score of the place, which is how fast you can get places on foot. Zillow will let you know how the crime is in the area. So that's a really good app to use, and that's what I used. Another thing is you're going to want to decide how you're going to travel. We flew here with my dog. Now, he is a registered emotional support animal, but as of recently, I believe that they aren't allowing dogs to fly for free anymore the way he was able to. I just had to get a notarized letter from a licensed physician or a licensed psychologist to basically say that I was being seen under her care, and that I did require to have my dog with me as an emotional support animal in order for me to be able to fly. And that also will waive any types of pet fees when it comes to where you live. If your dog is registered as a service animal or an emotional support animal, they cannot legally charge you to have a pet, because he is legally now someone or something that aids you in your health and well-being. Okay, it's a lot. Okay, this video might be longer than that, 30 minutes. Okay, so then you have to decide what all you're gonna take. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit long because when we decided we were gonna move out here, like we've, found a place and everything, but then once we started cleaning out our house and realizing that we couldn't just pack certain things up and take them with us because it was just too much money to do it. First of all, we had a pod to get here. We bought a pod because that was the cheapest way. It was quoted a price to us for us to get an entire moving van. It would have been $1,500, and that was the base of them to just bring it to us, put everything in it, and drive it here. It would have been $1,500. So we decided to just get a pod to put our big furniture items that we decided to keep inside. Then that was $700. It came to a little bit under $800 once they added the taxes or fees or whatever. Then after the furniture, we also, in order to clean out our house and throw away things, we ordered like one of those removable dumpsters, and that was about $200 to order that, and they dropped it off in our driveway and picked it up. We also had to get U-Haul trucks, storage units, to ship like clothes and small odds and ends. We used Amtrak freight shipping. That was about $600 to ship everything that we used through them. Then I think I kind of went over the fact that we had to get plane tickets. Our plane tickets from Georgia to LA one way were, I believe, $125, but we got them super in advance. They were $125 a piece, and I wasn't even sure if they were gonna let us bring my dog, but I just pushed it because in order to fly an animal, I believe it was somewhere close to $500 to put an animal. I'm not quite sure, but I just knew that I was going to get him made into an emotional support animal, which I did, and I love it. Okay. Oh, cars. Each car cost about $600 to ship. That's another thing. So then on top of that, we also had to pay our first and last month's rent, which was $3,000 a piece. So that's $6,000. Then we had to pay deposits to get the electricity and gas cut on. I believe that was somewhere like around $300 for everything. I don't think I'm missing anything else, but yeah, so running all the total up, I'll calculate it now. I was talking with my significant other, and we were talking about what it cost us to come out here, because it was just so many things like that were coming up, and we just kept having to, like, we thought we were like, oh good, we're done and we have money left, and every time something would come up, and oh my gosh, it was just so, it wasn't frustrating because I was excited about moving here, but I'm the type of person that I move well within hectic situations, so I was in my element. But for somebody who is not like built that way, it's best for you to have everything planned out, double check, triple check with everybody about everything. Make sure you get your space cleaned out, make sure you have everything lined up, set your alarm clock early on the day you leave, make sure that you know, if you have animals, or if you have something that you know, somebody, an animal that you want to take, that you can make, and it can travel, because we, as soon as we got here, we flew in, and they're 3 hours. Well, we were super early, which is a good thing, because we flew out in the 8 o'clock a.m. flight, which got us here, what, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm trying to 8, 7, 6, 5. So I basically think we got here at the same time that we left. No, I'm sorry. No, we got here because it was a 5-hour flight. So we got here at like 10 o'clock, 10, 11-ish. We had to go get our keys, and we had to do our walkthrough in our home to make sure that everything was the way we wanted it to be. And after that, we basically had to wait for everything to arrive, because all we had was what we brought in our suitcases. We had to wait on Amtrak, so we basically had to go. I think it didn't take long. No, it came within the week that we arrived here. Like maybe a day or two later, we went and picked that stuff up. And the same thing actually before that, the furniture and everything came here. But basically we are starting from scratch. Let's see. So just to recap, make sure where you're moving is somewhere you want to move, because making a decision like this, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of sacrifice. If you have children, you're gonna be uprooting them from their normal everyday life that they're used to. So make sure you're not moving somewhere that is solely based on what your dreams or whatever are. Make sure that you can foresee a better future for them as well, because that was a big thing for me, is wanting my kids to have a broader outlook on life and look past just the small bubble that I felt they were getting to look at where we were. And so, you know, that was another thing. So make sure you're moving where you want to move, have income lined up, have money saved. You know, make sure that you're not going to be out here and then just have to waste all this time and money and turn right back around and go where you came from. That's embarrassing. Make sure you leave the place that you're at and notify them in enough time, and make sure that you are prepared and aware of how much work is going to be put into emptying the current space that you're in and getting everything packed up and shipped out here. Understand that the cost of living is pretty much tripled out here, but so is the pay. So to me, it's a balance. That's just me. Now, it depends on what industry you're in. I am basically in the hair and makeup industry, which is kind of slow right now because of the shutdown, tragically, you know, but you know, we are making it work for what we have going on. Make sure you work on your credit score, building it up to 650 or higher, or you're going to need a co-signer, and you have to make 3 times the amount of rent wherever you're staying. Some places allow 2.5, but you're gonna need to make between 2.5 to 3 times the amount of money that your rent is out here. So, and that's per month. So if your rent's $3,000, you're gonna need to make $9,000 a month. Okay. Make sure you're moving to an area that's best suited for you and your lifestyle, you know, because you signing off on a contract. So if you sign off on a contract somewhere and then you don't like the area, you're going to have to break the lease or whatever like that, or you're just going to have to tough it out until you can go and find a place somewhere else. That's a risk you run. So like I said, use applications like Zillow that will let you scout the walk score. It will let you look at the crime index, and you can basically kind of vet where, if that's somewhere you can see yourself living. That's what I did, and so far so good. I would like a little bit of a bigger space as well as a backyard, because we only have like a front yard area and it's shared here with other dogs, and I have a Rottweiler who is not keen to sharing his space with other animals. He's not socialized because I'm not social. And so my dog is very overprotective, and so I just would like I'm looking for an area or another place where we have a private, place for him to be free. And how you're going to travel, like I said, we flew here. So like I said, let me go ahead and add this up really quickly. So let me see if I can hurry up and do this. So first things first was ballpark to empty out my house with having to get U-Haul trucks and storage units. And seriously, it's going to cost you out between $10,000 to $15,000, maybe even more to move out here, because that isn't even calculating in the money we spent on food, and just small odds and ends, getting utilities cut on, deposits, gas. It's just gonna probably cost somewhere, because I'm already near 10,000. It's gonna probably cost you anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 to move out here. So that is the end of my video. Again, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. I'm so corny. What else? I'll be doing hair tutorials, makeup tutorials, try on hauls, get ready with me, story times, that type of thing. I'm very active on social media, but I'm not though. So it's kind of like I'll always answer questions, but I really am getting used to posting more myself, because I'm just a very private person. I've always been like that, and I always have people telling me, you should do this and you should be more outgoing and you should be this way. And I love talking to people, and I love having, supporting people and having support. So, of course, I'm trying it and I'm being positive about it. So, I'm positive about everything. I'm optimistic about everything. It's all good. But, yeah, subscribe to my channel, comment, below any questions you have. Let me know what videos you guys would like to see, if any. And thanks for watching. Toodles.